Welcome back everyone to Data Science for Everyone. Today we're going to be looking at MySQL querying basics, so let's get started. So today we're going to be focusing on some of the more advanced stuff with some of the table querying. So first let's go on and get started with linking tables together. So this is going to be kind of working on after the from clause. Okay, and again, it's going to allow us to use certain conditions to link tables together. And again, some of these is we'll talk about this more later on, is using primary keys and foreign keys in order to join things together. So first off, let's just kind of show you guys a bit of a query on that. So let's select the customer dot first name. We want customer dot last name, and then we want time. We're going to use this time function of the rental dot rental date, and we'll call this rental time. And then we'll be from the customer data set, and then we're doing an inner join on here on rental, and then we're joining them on specifically with the customer dot customer ID is equal to our rental dot customer ID, where here we want the date of the rental dot rental date to equal something like I don't know, 2005 07 I don't know 20. Let's see if there's actually that particular date involved there. Oh, there's nothing in that date, so maybe let's go on and grab a different date. Let's do May or June maybe. All right, there we go. So we have data for June. So here we actually have gone on and linked the two tables together. So this first name and last name are from the customer table, and then this rental time is technically from the rental table, and we've glued them together based on the customer ID. And again, the customer ID isn't even shown here, but we used it anyways in order to connect them together. And we'll talk more about how to actually link up things, and we'll talk more deeply about inner joins and whatnot definitely later on. One thing that we could have done in this, okay, and let's maybe go on about this, and I find this to be a little bit of a useful thing, is to actually alias our database, okay? Because again, I have to type out customer each time here, and particularly if you have a lot of tables that you're doing, and then maybe they have long, complex names, you don't have to do that. You can do something like C here, and then we'll maybe say we want C here, and instead of rental, we'll just call this R. And again, we can alias them using C here, and then here we'll call this R. So this C connects with this C up here, R connects with the R, excuse me, so that we don't have to type out the whole thing. And again, down here then we can also use just C, and R, and R. And notice that actually simplifies things a great deal. And if we run this, we can still see that, yes, indeed, it does work. We still have the same output as well. Again, so this kind of involves just being smart about using your aliases and making sure that things kind of come up clean. Again, if you want to and you're using some other version of SQL besides MySQL, you can use as here and as here as well, but again, we're using MySQL. We don't have to put that in there, and it's kind of nice. So the next thing that we want to talk about is the where clause. Again, we've used the where clause quite a bit, but we haven't really talked about it, okay? Now, the where clause itself is actually kind of a mechanism for filtering out unwanted rows from our results set, the results set. So, for example, we can do something like select title from film, where rating is equal to G, and rental duration is I don't know, greater than or equal to 6. Or no, let's make it a week. See if they're late. Okay, and so again, we know the title of the films that are rated G, okay, and that are going to relatively be late. Okay, and again, this is also using an and statement in there. So let's also go through and maybe use the or statement as well instead of and, because here we have two. And let me rerun that really quickly so that we can see the difference here. Excuse me. There we go. So I want to show you guys. There are only 29 rows total here. Okay, so we should, if we use the or statement in here and we run this, it should actually grow for us, okay? Total is nan. Why did it do that? Well, again, for some reason there seems to be a bit of an issue, but there should be significantly more because we're using this or statement and it kind of broadened the condition. So this and, if we use this and statement, again, all the conditions must be met. If we use the or statement, either one of these statements needs to be true. So if we do something, I don't know, maybe a little bit more complex, let's do something like where, and if we want to have multiple statements, okay, logical statements, we need to use the parentheses to make sure that everything is working right. So if we have something like rating is equal to G and the rental duration is greater than or equal to 7 days, or the rating is equal to PG 13, and the rental duration is less than 3 days, or 4 days. Let's do 3 days. Run this, and that will give us, again, the title of all of these movies. Okay, and I actually want to, let's put in here as well. Move that over. Let's grab something else just besides the title. Let's grab in, what, title. Let's grab in the rating as well and the rental duration so that we can see those. Grab something a little bit bigger. All right, so again, we see here that they are rated G, 7-day rentals. And again, we have a bunch more that we could go about finding as well if we kind of scroll through them. Now let's go on and work on using these some group by clauses. So a group by clause itself is going to allow us to, again, group things based on something like maybe the last name or the first name, or again, grouping them together. So for example, you want to group it by their first name and last name, but then you want to have a tiebreaker on maybe their first name. Or maybe you want to order things by the days that they were rented, or maybe you want to order things even on their rating level. So if it's rated G, you want to group them together, and maybe you want to see their statistics or something like that. So let's go in and look and give this group by statement a try. So we want to select C first name, C dot last name. And again, I'm going to be using more and more of these techniques. It's going to kind of cascade down. We're also going to count each of them. So you need to have some sort of aggregation function whenever you are using group bys, okay? And so account itself is also an aggregation function. Average is, sum is, max, min can also be considered some aggregation functions. From customer, we want to have that up as C. We want an inner join in here on rental. We're going to call that R on C dot customer ID is equal to here R dot customer ID. And then we're going to go on and say group by here, and we want C dot first name, C dot last name, having. Now this having, okay, if this is having is equivalent to where, but it's only on grouped by activity. Okay, so if you want to filter out some rows in a grouped by statement, again, you need to have that here. Okay, you need to have the having. So again, we would do something like count all is greater than or equal to, I don't know, let's say 50. Oh, none. Let's do, I don't know, 30? Okay, so then here we actually found, again, all of these individuals in here using the group by here. And so what they're doing is they're actually grouping, we're grouping by their first name and last name. And then we're looking at the number of rentals that these individuals have had. So the next thing that we would want to maybe do here is add in an order by. Okay, so maybe we want to order it by the time that they had their rentals in. So let's keep this first name, last name, and let's remove this count function here, and let's do something else with it. Let's do time R, and then we'll do rental date. So we want the time, and we'll call this rental time. In here, C, we're going to do inner joins. We don't need to group by. Okay, we don't need to group by, but we need this. So where here, and let's say that we want what do we want? Let's pick the date. Okay, so what did we say before? Where date, rental date, and then we had 2000. I remember it was 2005, and we said June was okay, and then we'll do something like 20th. So we'll run this, and now I'm currently not using the order by yet, but we will here in a second. I just kind of want to show you what happens. Oop. What didn't it like? Okay. Let's try this. What didn't you like? Oh, whoops, I forgot the equal sign here. Okay, and then rental, and again, data, it's rental date here. And rental date up here. There we go. So now we actually have the individuals and the time that they rented. Now notice here that this rental time is completely out of order. So let's say that maybe someone left their keys or maybe a wallet was found or something at a particular time, and you wanted to see who had rented a movie in that time frame so that you could maybe call them and tell them that you found to see if they had lost their item or not. So let's add in an order by here. Okay, order by C dot last name. Okay, and we'll do the last name here first, just because then you can see they're in alphabetical order. So now it starts with A and it goes all the way down. And we can also, maybe we want a tiebreaker on this because again, maybe there's two people with the same name. So Brinson here, there's R's. Oh, and that's Russell, it's the same. But we can also put in here, let's change that to R dot rent, let's do rental time. Okay, and then here you can see that we changed the time, and again, I don't know. Again, you can tell this is definitely a fake database because their rental time is like at midnight. Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe there was some, back then there were some 24-hour stores and whatnot. But you can see here that we can sort them by their time. And then if, for example, we want to change this rental time and we want to have it descending, we can, just using the DSC, okay, for descending. And then now you can see, for example, they're starting at getting close to midnight and then working all the way down. All right, and so here we were actually sorting again by a very specific item. Now, one thing that we can do is sorting via some numeric placeholders. Okay, and this is something that's a little bit different in our select clause. And so you can think, we can reference these again by their position. So let's say, so we have here these items here, right? So we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we can say order by 3 descending, and we will get the same exact answer that we had before, descending by the time. If you wanted to do this by the last name, okay, we could say 2 here, and again you can see that that's descending by the last name, or we can get rid of this descend here and whoops, run that as well, and you can see now they are ascending starting with A. So again, if you like these positional arguments, I personally don't like them. I feel like they have a tendency to cause a bit of problems for people, and so I like to actually type them out because it saves a little bit of confusion. So if you guys like this, please comment, subscribe, hit that like button, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.